So we get to start out today's video by me editing and finding out that there was no mic behind half of the video. So it's kind of interesting. So I ended up cutting a lot of it out where I'm talking. I just left this part in here where I'm talking just so it'll kind of overlay while I talk. That way it's not just one screen that you're staring at. But what I was leading at with the video here is we got the car home, we got it cleaned up, we got it stuffed in the garage, and then I let it sit overnight to dry, and then I got back out the next morning to see what was going on with the oil leak. And in the video that I'm going to show here in a second, you can see where I'm staged with the Hellcat. We make the race. About halfway down the track, the car starts smoking really bad, and here we go.
No time for the spectator lane, power lane at 7:28 and 98.
Shit. Okay. We'll be back, guys. I think. I don't know. You got a lot of smoke. Are you okay?
Looks like we're gonna put that one out. There was no oil on the track.
Shit.
So, good times. Let's dive in and see what we got going on here. Now, what I was trying to say in this video here is I was trying to be a smartass and saying, oh, well, your oil filter's supposed to move around like this, ain't it? And then you can see right here where I pull the bolt out and we got some threads missing, so we tear the thing apart. Come to find out that what I did was, apparently when I put the motor together, I put the wrong bolts in the oil filter adapter, and when this car was wheel shaking in second gear, it must have shook really violently and put a lot of stress against the filter and adapter, and it ended up pulling the bolts right out of the pan, so that was a fun time. So what I'm doing right now is just draining the oil off. We're going to check it out, see what the oil that actually is remaining in there looks like, and then go from there. GoPro didn't do the best job, but here's the aluminum that's still on the threads from the bolt that got pulled. And then here I pull the intake off and I give the turbo a spin just to make sure that it's not bound up or any damage. Right here we're digging through the oil just to make sure that there's no metal or anything that I can visually see. Even though I know the oil didn't get pumped through the engine, there might be hopes that if there was any debris that it would just fall off the rod and into the pan. And then here I'm checking the threads on the pan just to see what I do have left so I know if I can fix it or if I can use what's there and get some longer bolts to make sure that we're not going to have this issue again.
Okay, well, the battery charger just went from charge to optimize, so it means the battery's got a charge on it. So that charged up pretty quick. So I'm going to try and start this thing up. I'm going to crank it over a few times before I fire it, just to make sure that we got oil and everything before we actually do try and fire it up. Should have some oil in it. Got good oil pressure. 78 or so, but 80 pounds, I think we're okay. I just wanted gonna drain it off, see what it looks like. It is just some cheap oil I threw in there right now. It's just got some 10W40 conventional Super Tech oil from Walmart. So I was gonna let it run for a minute or two on this stuff, drain it out, see what that oil looked like, and as long as we're clean, we'll put a good oil change in it and we're going to the track. But if it does have metal in it, then we'll play that by ear. But we'll see what happens, guys. We're gonna let this thing run for a little bit, and then we're gonna drain it off and see what we do. All right, a couple minutes of run time. We're gonna let this thing drain out, see what the oil looks like, and cross my fingers. Hopefully we're good. We might live to race another day, guys. Everything looked good from the oil pressure we had and the turbo spinning right up. So we'll see what happens. Clean paint. Pure results.
So we ended up draining the oil off, and it did look okay. So we ended up doing a full oil change on the car again. So now it's got good oil and the zinc adder in it. I ended up having to let the oil sit for a little while because I got used to the old habit of adding the extra ½ quart of oil. We ended up aerating the oil a little bit, so we gotta get into the habit there of putting less oil in every time we do the change. But that's something we can get used to. That won't be a problem. Just going back to the stock filter compared to the one that we had before. So yeah. So like I said, we got lucky. I think we dodged a bullet. Got everything put back together. I don't really show the oil in the video here because, like I said, I had to let it sit and separate for all that air to come out. But it did look good. We had good oil pressure, no noises, no any squeals or anything like that. So I think we're gonna live to race another day, guys.
That just became a thing. Every time we put the car in the air, we're gonna have to check that just to make sure. White car seems to be good to go. Oil is pretty clean. I did have a little bit of air in it, but I did overfill it, accidentally, assuming I still had the big filter. It's something I'm gonna have to get used to now. I had good oil pressure. Oil, like I said, oil looked clean. I didn't see anything in the filter when we looked it over, so I think we're gonna be good to go here. Got oil, got the good oil change back in it, got everything back on the ground. Pretty much now I just need to get some Simple Green and power wash the bottom of the car, get everything cleaned up, and the back of the car because there's oil all over the lip of the trunk and the bumper. So we'll get all that cleaned up. And before we go to the track, we might try and get this hardware kit in here. I do have some rear diffusers that I can put in on the bumper so we can get rid of that drag. Now I do have it lit, I have it rolled, but I don't really know how much air is back there, but we know consistently right now that as the car sat, it would go 129, 132 miles an hour. So if we see more mile an hour with those gone, that'd be impressive. Even if it was 1 or 2 mile an hour, that's something. But I might try and stick those on later this week here. We'll go to Ubley the 19th and see what happens. So that'll be, so today's Sunday, so that'll be 6 days from now. So we're going back to the track we'll go back to the track next weekend and see if we can get a better burnout in the car, see if maybe they can set us back in the water and get a better burnout, get the tires nice and hot, and then see if we can get this thing to really cut some 60 foot. So if we can get this thing to 60 foot, it's going to go for a fast pass because it's shifting great, it's making good power, and we got good mile an hour. So we'll play that by ear and see what happens. So with this car, we're just going to wrap it up for the night. Got it on the ground, got it ready to clean it up. So as soon as I get that Simple Green, we'll get this thing hosed down and maybe wax up the back again or wipe it down with some quick wax or something, and then call it good. But for now, we're done with this one. We're going to work on the red car tonight, so that'll be another video. I'll cut that one over here in a minute, but I appreciate you guys checking this one out. Have yourself a good one, stay safe, and we'll see you at the track with this car this weekend. Thanks.